I like it when I meet new people, and invariably the sort of conversation ends up in education. Seems to naturally happen with me. And, they'll ask, oh, so you're homeschooling? I'm like, yes. And then I'll often say, and I actually unschool. And it's really interesting to see the sort of the reactions that you get from people. You get that whole, I don't know what that is, look, or you get the, oh, you're one of those, are you? Sort of looks. And, I love unpacking unschooling for people. I really do, because I just truly enjoy it. And I think the more that people realize like what it is and as a way to like homeschool, it's a beautiful thing. And so this is why I love bringing some of these videos, and I've done this. We've been talking a bit about unschooling, and we looked at how to unschool math and how to unschool science. Well, today I want to look at how to unschool language arts. Hi, and welcome to Learning Life, and thank you for joining me today as we unpack unschooling language arts. Because, when you're an unschooler, so often you get the question, well, how do you? How do you do this? And then the whys. But usually it's the how do you? How do you unschool math? And I said we covered that. When we have questions, it's always great to go and find answers. And maybe you've been wondering how to unschool language arts and you ended up here today. Well, thank you and welcome. And for those that have been joining me on this journey, you know what? Thank you for being part of this community. Hey, subscribe, tell your friends. What is language arts? Okay, I get that a bit. When I started Teachers College, that was when the whole shift from just English or, reading, writing became language arts. And really, it's a curriculum that involves the language skills. It's not just reading. It's not just writing. We're putting it together. And, there's just all the different methods that we can be using language in written and spoken form. That's what it is. But really, we break it down mostly to reading and writing. So as I'm talking about unschooling language arts, it's really unschooling that reading and writing. There are so many ways to learn it, and there are so many curriculums out there that do it. But what I don't like is when it seems to just break up. We've got our spelling and our grammar and our vocab, and it's this. And I'm like, oh, it's a way that I don't like to teach. I'm like, why are we separating all of these things when they really, really belong together? And, when I started teaching sixth grade here, my first year of teaching, I had to learn how to diagram sentences in order to be able to teach it. And I remember at this inter-school teachers conference asking, why do we do this? And most people were like, I don't know. I think there was one person who's like, well, it makes you a better writer. And I'm like, does it? Does it? How? I mean, these were genuine questions because I still struggle with diagramming sentences and the reason why. But you know what? I also struggled being able to pronounce interrogative because I still naturally want to say interrogative because you interrogate someone in an interrogation. But I digress. Let's get back to unschooling language arts. How do you unschool language arts? Wow. Are you ready? Let's have a language-rich environment. And you're asking, what does that mean? It means that we have access to books and to written things and things that we can write, that we are communicating, okay? We are using language in a variety of ways. And so we're not having a book desert in our house that our children hit the age of 10 and have never seen a book, okay? We want lots of these things. And in that, because we are not a book desert and we have lots of books, we are reading aloud as a family, okay? These are really great ways of doing it. As a family, it's a great way to introduce many different styles of literature and, of course, both fiction and nonfiction. And in that, and then from that, we are modeling reading and writing for our children. They need to see us do it, not just for work and not just for the things that we have to do to keep the household running, but for enjoyment. and for reaching out to somebody, okay? We need to model that for them. And that's a great thing, and it's including even, I was telling my husband, one of my daughters has now started reading the way that I do. I use a lot of inflection. I use different voices for characters. I'll bring my voice down. And she, through me modeling that, that's how she reads now. And I love it. She's 7.5 and she's already getting this reading expression happening. We do want to introduce phonics at a young age, but not through a curriculum. We want to do it through games. And there are so many great and easy ways that we can introduce phonics to young children. In fact, go to my website, learningthis.life, and I'll have some simple and easy ways that you can introduce phonics at a young age without it being anything, major. It's just something that's fun, and my girls still enjoy doing it. We want imaginative play. Of course, have you ever listened to your children with imaginative play and you realize that they're mimicking you and the things that you say or things that they've heard, and you watch how their language develops through it and communicating meaning just through play. And so, yes, we work on our verbal communication and, we discuss things. We discuss what we're reading. We discuss what we're writing. We are engaged in the written word and also in the spoken word. Activities for unschooling language arts. Can we learn grammar and spelling separately? Yes. Yes, we can. But we don't have to, okay? And I get some people are sometimes really worried, but if I don't learn it like this and I break it down, I'll never fully understand. Well, look, again, I have a couple of teaching degrees and I didn't know most of the parts of the sentences, the second past participles, cousins, twice removed, but I learned and I knew different parts. And so much of it was sort of in a way organic and how I'm bringing this across to my children as well. So some ways that we can do this: texts, emails, pen pals, writing letters, cards, those things, writing poetry. Don't ever forget poetry because there's just different ways that we can express ourselves there. We're going to play Mad Libs. I love Mad Libs. It's so much fun. And we're learning parts of speech, and having a great time. We're writing shopping lists, making signs, making a weekly food plan. We're writing out recipes. We're writing a story. Oh, we're writing a book. Oh, we're making a comic book. Maybe we're journaling every day or, a couple of times a week. Again, so many different ways that we can do it. And of course, we're going to be reading a lot in this too. We're reading our different books as we are exploring these different ideas. Without formal instruction. I bet by now you're thinking, but can we be learning all of this without formal instruction? Are you really saying this, Michaela? Are you saying that we can do this? Yes. Written text is around us everywhere. Books, we have this accessibility to books, not just a physical form, but electronically. We can learn to read and to write without that formal instruction of sitting down and following a curriculum. We are making sure that we are using a variety of reading material. Our fiction, nonfiction, magazines, newspapers, websites, newsletters. Why not go ahead and put subtitles on a show that you're watching? It's around us there, right? And I always say, it's great to start with what your children are interested in. Try not to impose what you think that they should be learning, because the number one killjoy in all of this is having to do something you're really not enjoying. So they want to learn all about animals, and you read books about animals and you write about animals. Oh, they want to learn about another country, then you read about that country and you write about that country. And from that, we are seeing spelling and we're seeing all of this. We're introducing chapter books early. I think I started reading chapter books to my girls when they were 3 so that they saw how stories develop. Now, also remember, you get better at writing by doing more writing. Okay, we're writing stories, we're editing, we're going through. So writing begets writing, it builds up as well as reading. Good writers are good readers. Okay, so we really can't pull them apart because as we read and we see how words are being used, from there we learn naturally some of the rules that we have. We're learning about punctuation. We're learning about context and meaning and all of those different things. So write, read. Really, that's what it comes down to. But yes, you can go to the theater and the movies and explore drama and music because they are very valuable tools as well in exploring the organic learning of language arts. You don't have to have phonics curriculums. You don't have to do all of this, but by reading, and then giving opportunities to write, you are going to be able to do it. Apps for language arts. There are some great apps out there. I really do admit that. I love using technology. I love allowing my girls the opportunity to explore some of these apps. One that we all love is Teach My Monster to Read, where you get to create a monster and you teach. And I realized from that, my girls thinking it was a game, how much of learning how to build up words was in it and listening for sounds, beginning sounds, middle sounds, end sounds. So that's a great app. Check out different word searches and word puzzles and scrambles. They are all great, especially for spelling. And you can have them easier. And again, it doesn't even have to be an app. You could create your own. There's books of them. And then one that I say within reason, I don't like it as a curriculum. And I know that people do use it as that. And that's great. You do what works for you. But ABC Mouse, my girls, we use that as a little enrichment thing. That it's something that they can explore. And, they love the books on there and the different activities. But it's not something we do every day. It is just an enrichment, but there are some really good resources on there. So can we unschool language arts? Yes. All of these we can, and we can have a lot of fun with it. And truly, and I mean that, it is so much fun when you get to just explore the interests that your children are interested in and finding good quality, books that you can read about it and websites. And then all the writing activities you can do on it. You can have so much fun that it's not bogging them down, and you will see spelling improve. You will see punctuation improve. You will especially just see that context and understanding meaning and how sentences are put together because it's become more organic rather than learning rules and trying to make rules fit into the writing instead of letting it happen. Well, thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for being here and for being part of this Learning Life community. If you want to get some more of these videos out there, you can join us. You can join us as a champion, and you can do that through patreon.com or check out my website that has different resources and other fun things on there. And you can do that at my website, learningthis.life.